So moving on to more decent news, the Uncharted movie finally came out after years of development hell. And a lot of script passing around back and forth and directors changing hands and actors changing roles. So the movie stars Tom Holland as Nathan Drake and Mark Wahlberg as Sully, his mentor figure type character. And of course, the movie made back US 139 million worldwide. It did alright in the US, but I think worldwide it's getting better and better, I believe. There's going to be a sequel according to Sony Pictures, despite all the negative reviews from critics. I guess people really like these kind of like National Treasure and Tomb Raiding kind of movies. There was a new Nintendo Direct from Nintendo on February. It announced a lot of RPG remakes and remasters. We've got the Chrono Cross remaster, which has both Radical Dreamers from SNES back in the day, and the PS1 Chrono Cross with new graphics and remastered 3D and text and whatnot. Life Alive, which was a Super Nintendo game last time, now being made with the HD 2D remake like with Octopath Traveler. I believe that's coming out middle of the year. There's also going to be a Front Mission 1 and 2 remake that has no release date, but it's announced, it's official. And they also announced Xenoblade Chronicles 3 from Nintendo's side, which is coming out on September this year. So that's good news for anybody who loves RPGs and JRPGs, whether it's old and new. Previous Xenoblade games were really good. So Part 3 I think Part 3 is going to be really connected to the past two games, so you kind of need some... I think context is required to fully enjoy Part 3. That's my prediction.
Yeah, just I guess following up on what you said just now, a few years on, is it still a good time to perhaps consider getting a Switch? Let's say you don't have a Switch?
Yes, right now would be the best time to get a Switch. Street Fighter 6 is officially announced. Well, it's more like a tease, so it's like an announcement for an announcement, because they only showed off like a small CGI teaser of both Ryu and Luke, a new character from Part 5, coming in. They're about to fight, and then the title comes out. People are actually commenting more about the game's title because it looks like it's like a icon on your smartphone app, and then there's like a number 6, which is, it's probably 6 notifications or something, right? But generally, the only big news I know about Street Fighter 6 is it's running on the Resident Evil engine. That's not really clarified officially, but it looks like it's going for that engine. The same engine that's running RE2 Remake and Resident Evil 8 Village. And there's going to be more news on Street Fighter 6 on summer 2022. My only wish list for this game is that it has a solid launch. Because Street Fighter 5, as good as the game is right now, it had a terrible launch and Season 2 follow-up because it was bare bones. I only wish that Capcom take all the time we need for Street Fighter 6, release it in its most perfect state as possible. Then after a year or two, then you can release the second edition lah. That's how these companies, that's how Street Fighter runs. So it's a universal law lah at this point.
Yeah, apparently a veteran developer, I forgot his name, is coming back to help develop this game, right?
Yes, he was actually the guy who directed Bayonetta 2. And he left Platinum Games 3 years ago to come work on Street Fighter 6. King of Fighters 15 came out middle of February. It's a 3 versus 3 fighting game. You pick characters or teams of 3. You fight your opponents online. There's a story mode, but people play this mostly for the competitive side. There's rollback netcode for this game. The mechanics are really solid, although you have to be a veteran King of Fighters player to actually get the hang of the mechanics. The game doesn't do a great job of explaining all of this. In fact, you have to look up on YouTube for the main mechanics of King of Fighters 15. But generally, this is the King of Fighters game that everyone is jumping on board because it has the best roster of the game so far. The fighting is great. It changes a little bit, but still retains what makes it great with the speed and the zoning, the footsies, and the speed play of KOF. And it controls great too, and it looks also great as well, like with the stunning... They use a different art engine, the Unreal Engine and whatnot, so it looks, I guess, more fleshed out and more colorful this time around. Elden Ring is a From Software game that came out days ago. I was lucky enough to actually get a review copy 7 days before the game came out. Full disclosure, I've spent 50 hours on it, haven't finished it, but I can honestly tell you that it's a well-designed, great game that deserves all the praises and the high scores it gets, the highest possible score it can get. It's tough, it's challenging, yes, like a Dark Souls game, but unlike those previous iterations and prequels, in Elden Ring, if you're stuck at a boss, like if you're being gatekept by a boss, you got the rest of the world to explore and, take your time off and explore to power your character up and find hidden secrets and also other new weapons and maybe even an item that can help you with a particular boss from a special merchant. A lot of other games, they have a lot to live up to because Elden Ring basically took our once in a lifetime kind of like 100 out of 100 full score rating on our website. The short take of this is, if you like fighting games, get King of Fighters 15. If you like a challenge and you want something that's great but also punishing, play Elden Ring. If you want a short punishing game, play Sifu. If you want an easy chillax kind of game, Oli Oli World. Dying Light 2 if you like zombie games and open world. I guess if you like kind of fun games. And if you like a PlayStation exclusive, you got Horizon Forbidden West.